El Shutterino, the Shuttitude, the Shuttinator, the Monkey Shuts.
Yeah. All right. Woo. Yeah, probably should have worn a Seahawks shirt under here. Oh, well, whatever. We'll just shabba-doom-ba-bing-ba-bam. Hello, everybody. Whoa, microphone over here. It's Tuesday. Things went again today after a little yesterday. Tesla fell off a cliff. It's back down to 220 something. I can't imagine anyone wanting the hassle of owning a Tesla at this point. The protests seem to be working. There is a significant amount of vandalism happening, which is probably going to make Teslas uninsurable at some point. I think Tesla Q is on the way, personally. And Elon's tweeting about, like, I can't understand why no one likes me. I'm like, well, dude, don't be a Nazi. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Like, don't arbitrarily start just destroying government services we rely upon to be a functioning society, because you're saving money by not actually saving any money. All you're doing is you're causing mayhem, which is going to spin out of control and snowball into something that's much worse. Trump has said that all the pardons are illegal. He also ICE has been detaining quite a few American citizens, as well as Native Americans who have more of a right to be here than pretty much anybody. They've been ignoring the court orders. The courts are getting a little fed up, but I don't know if they've got the teeth to do anything about it. Although Justice Roberts today basically kind of, a gentle backhand to the administration, saying that the courts are the process to do this with, and impeaching those whose rulings you don't like is not how this should work. But the court could say a lot of things, but if Trump goes full Andrew Jackson, it's like, what are you going to do about it? Who knows what he can do about it? What they can do about it? We don't know until that limit is pushed. Monkey, do you have anything else to add on that one? No. Could you win little leg though? Yeah. GameStop's kind of waiting for earnings next week. No Lab said they're going to a medical device conference. Bed Bath & Beyond is challenging a bunch of creditors, the tune of tens of millions of dollars. If there's other things, I'm sure you guys will bring up in the chat. I'm not thinking off the top of my head. So, what can we do? 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 How about... crap, we'll just go old school. Whoops, no. Yeah, it's easier. It's right there. It's 10 seconds long. Okay, that's off. No second intro. None. Snare alert. We'll use them. My Coinbase puts for Friday are toast, it seems. Nuts. I should have just been staying with Tesla puts. And rather than bouncing around, just stick with the Tesla puts, let that sucker drop. It's going to drop another $100 at least in the near term, if not a little further. Yeah. Oh, Stephanie L., tell us a little bedtime story about what life would be like right now if Kamala would have won. Oh. Well, we'd still have an FAA, so there'd be lots of lives that would still be around. Farmers wouldn't be losing their farms, so we wouldn't be facing like the bankruptcy of Oklahoma and Nebraska. We wouldn't be in any trade wars, so we wouldn't have a whole bunch of enemies around the world who were our friends because we pissed them off. Ukraine would probably be receiving an incredible amount of weapons right now and absolutely just running over Russians. The Gazans wouldn't be looking at full genocide. Canada would be our friends. The economy wouldn't be crashing the way it is right now. I do think like a correction was definitely in store for the future, but it wouldn't be just like the bottom falling out like it is at the moment with the full-on threat of depression. lots of people who don't have jobs right now would be happily at their jobs. Yeah. I mean, when you're faced with like status quo or the apocalypse, status quo isn't the most appealing thing in the world. Like you want to see effective change, make things better, but making them much, much worse is not going to improve your life any way, shape, or form. So all the J6ers would all be in prison. We wouldn't have like white supremacists running the Justice Department and ICE and all that stuff. So yeah, it's not so much a bedtime story, but things would be noticeably better than they are right now. That is for sure. So, man. Oh well. Javier Martinez second. No, you won't. Oh no, you were. Sorry, Snartler was 2. Brennan Wells, sup? BBY No Labs gave what update I had there. Hazel A, hi Houston. It is so obvious when Trump is asked a question that will implicate him, he always says, I haven't heard too much about that. Every time he opens his mouth, he lies. Yeah. Well, there's an interesting thing about the folks who love Trump and the folks who despise him as to what they determine as truth and what they determine as lie. So, you know, the folks who are his biggest fans, Trump says, I'm going to deport everybody. And they're like, he's not really going to deport everybody. I'm going to be fine, and my wife's going to be fine, but he's not really going to go. He's just saying that. And his opposition is like, no, he's going to deport everybody. And so then when he gets elected, gets in office, he starts deporting everybody. The people who voted for him are like, but why? I didn't think he was actually going to do it, right? And then when Trump says stuff that's like totally batshit insane, like they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, the MAGA people just nom 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 eat it up. Right? Like as if it's like a delicious cherry yogurt or something. And the people who hate him are like, he's lying. So like there seems to be a complete disconnect as to the ability to determine what is a lie and what isn't a lie from his followers. Like they pick and choose the things they want. Like if it's going to affect them, he's obviously lying. If it doesn't affect them, then he's telling the truth. And that seems to be sort of the MO there. It's a very strange dichotomy. Like, he's vaporizing your farmers. You voted for this. He's stealing your wives, guys who married Mexican ladies. You voted for this. He's destroying your shipping, Flexport, guy who voted for this. They're talking about, like in Texas now, if you have adult-themed video games, comic books, etc. They're talking about banning that, which is, let's face it, manga, anime, things like that is a very big part of GameStop's turnaround. It's selling things related to that. So you voted for that, Ryan Cohen. Project 2025 wants to get rid of video games entirely. You voted for that. In fact, then you just voted for it. You went, woo, yeah, rah, and your wife left you over it. So there needs to be a sort of a reckoning, right? There needs to be some sort of truth and reconciliation for these folks. So then admit like, oh yeah, I fucked up there. But a lot of them, their ego is so tied into this that they will be like eating dirt, trying to fill their bellies while living in a cardboard box, and they won't admit to themselves that they made a horrible mistake. It's a kind of a phenomenal. There'll be studies on this and psychology papers if we have any scientists left. I guess they'll probably be publishing in like Germany or something. But yeah, don't see shade them. TSLS, TSLQ, TSLZ are the inverse Tesla ETFs. They've already run a lot already, but I said that last week. Let's see. Let's take a look at them. TSLS. Let's clickety clack there. We'll go to that there. We'll click there. We'll go bam. Done. Okay. So, this one's looks pretty flat today, even though it dropped, what, 20 points? 15 points? But it's decent run going there. Big decent run from $8 to what peaked at almost 14. And okay, so it was pretty big just before the election, dropped really hard after the election, and now flying right back up again. What was the other one? TSLQ. That one seems to be right at the current price. Okay, so it was pretty high last week. This one does not seem to be... Oh, no. That's just give me a regular Tesla. Yeah, don't give me a regular Tesla. There we go. There it is. Goodness gracious. Oh, yeah, this one's climbing. From 30 to 70 at one point and going right back up to 70. So this one seems to be... It's 2xing. So that one's flying. And was the last one Z? This one's climbing as well. It was all the way down at 279. Now it's 7, so it's up 300%. Not too shabby. All right. Year to date. Oh, it bottomed out at 209. So last year Tesla was at 180. This thing was at $58. So right now it's at 7. So if it gets down to 180, it might be able to go back at $58. Yeah, that was its peak. That was its peak last year when it dropped down to 180, 188, something like that. Interesting. Okay, this one looks like that one's got the most room to run at the moment. Thank you, Don. Not a moth. Predictions for the market tomorrow. Ooh. Red. Red. We might get a day, maybe Thursday. It might pop green again, just a little bit. But yeah, it's red. I don't know how much. Not like bottom falling out red, but just like right. Banks are having some pretty bad reporting come through. There's just a lot of folks are running the numbers and realizing that they don't have customers anymore. Dollar Store is reporting that their customers are too poor for Dollar Store. That is poor, man. That is poor. Yeah. Like, that thing's $1. We can't afford it. Then you're shit out of luck, dude. You need to figure out a way to boost American discretionary spending in a hurry. Yeah. Karen Mirza, monkey treat, please. And Canada is causing problems for Americans to go to Alaska. Oh, like driving through to get to Alaska? Or shipping through to get to Alaska? I can imagine. And Americans deserve it. So, you know, every bad thing that's happening to us, we deserve at this point. We fucked around. We're now finding out. We fornicated in a circular pattern, and now we're discovering the ramifications of such. So, yeah. Like, as an American, you go elsewhere, people treat you like shit. Expect it. Just be like, yeah, sorry. I wasn't part of that. Nothing I can do about it. I wish I could, but I know my neighbors suck. My family sucks. My friends suck. Everyone sucks. We get it. Just heap it on me. As you travel, you're going to become the punching bag for everybody's frustrations, and they're just going to be like, I don't know if it's so much will be hate, but more disappointment. Like, I am very disappointed in you, American. You've really let us down. It's pretty much going to be the way you're probably going to be treated as you travel abroad. So keep that in mind. And don't get mad about it. Sorry, the pollen is starting to like go. Full of antihistamines, but still it gets me every once in a while. Oh, you wanted a monkey treat. You know what we haven't done in a long time? We haven't done in a very long time is this one. that what you want? You want one of those? Oh, take it in your mouth. Yes. Oh, you dropped it, you fool. Yeah, take it in your mouth with more dedication than that. There we go. All right. You know what's a big bummer about her losing her leg is that I can't do the Jaws cam anymore because she can't get up on her hind legs to do it. So no more Jaws. The Jaws cam is done for, monkey. When was the last time we did a Jaws cam? When was that? It's been a couple of months, at least, because it's been 7+ weeks since you lost your leg. Yeah. No more Jaws cam. Oh, did turn off? I did turn it off. Whew. After yesterday's double intro. How embarrassing. Jizz ma'am, you just finished my bracket. Gators win it all. I forget who I chose. I did 3 different brackets. So who did I choose to win mine? I think I had a different one for each one. What are we playing on? The CBS Sports, right? That's where we were playing. CBS Sports. March Madness. Give me my brackets. There we go. My brackets. I chose Duke for 1, Wisconsin for 1, and Alabama for 1. There you go. And the women's tournament, I chose UCLA. We'll see how it works out. I mean, it's really just, you pick a 5-12 upset, and you always pick the wrong 5-12 upset, and then that will just destroy your entire bracket after that. And then, you just go, all right. Alexander K. Tesla's toast? I thought they were a car company. Corporate Walnut. Tesla puts must be the easiest play in history. I don't know what they could possibly do to turn this post-iceberg Titanic around. Look at the profit earnings compared to any other car company. Yeah. And the profit earnings are going to crumble because their entire profit base is based upon carbon credits that they sell. And one, the Trump administration wants to get rid of carbon credits. And 2, the carbon credits are directly tied to how many cars they sell. And if they sell half as many cars, then they have half as many carbon credits, which means they have half as much profit. They've got, this crazy rent of like buying parking lots all over the country at empty malls and empty office complexes, just filling them up with unsold Teslas that will never be delivered. Do you guys remember the images from like 2009? They're doing the cash for cars, the junkers thing. They're paying like a couple $1,000 to like get rid of your older car, which was a bummer because a lot of cool classics got vaporized in that. But these ships were traveling across the oceans full of Kias or Hondas or whatever, and they get to a port and they realize there's no market for them anymore. So they just like fill up an entire port with brand new cars that will never sell. Eventually get declared a loss and destroyed. The ports here in Seattle, let's see if we can bring it up on Google Earth. If we got the timeline here. Google Earth, there we go. Got to leave super volcano. Go to Aberdeen. So Aberdeen, one of the rainiest cities in America. They had a port here. Is it this one? Might have been here. I think. Maybe it was over here. Crap. That in 2009 was just like full of Korean cars. Absolutely full. Might have been this port here. Let's see if we can. Where's my timeline? Do I have a time? Oh, there we go. Timeline. Want to go to, do we have 2009 in here? 92, 07, 08, 09. Let's see here. That's not anything. That is just the roads. There's no images there. Do I have to restart you? We have to restart. Okay, restart. Back to Aberdeen. Give me north again. I like to see things looking north. That's how my brain is oriented. Okay. I'm going to guess it's this parking lot or it's this parking lot. I can't remember which one, but one of those. Okay, back 2009. Oh. There's 9. Okay. I guess that just doesn't work. How about we go to the next one? 2010? 11. Come on, there we go. There we go. Okay, that's 2011. That is terrible imaging. There we go. And, hey, there it is. It's not very good imaging, but these are all like Korean cars that had to get destroyed because there was no market for them. And this is 2011, so this is like 2 years after these lots were filling up with these cars. So these things are probably 2009 model year vehicles. Been sitting here for over 2 years, waiting to be destroyed. And that's you know, that's what Teslas are doing right now. Is that they are filling up lots like this all over the country, full of cars, waiting to get basically destroyed, declared a loss for some sort of tax write-off, and maybe, you know, they'll have some luck on that. But let's see if we can go back to when it was more full. Okay, so this is 2009, so they weren't here yet. And then 2010? Come on. Give me 2010. Come on, don't. Just get 2010. Come on, there. Quick. Come on. I know it's one little pixel. Over 1 pixel. Don't go back. Just go to fucking. I won't do it. Anyway, you get the idea. Even though I can't. It's like 1 pixel. I can't do it. So. Yeah. Should I invest in big lots with all these Teslas piling up? Wrong big lots. Like small, lowercase big lots, right? AVH, 7th. Just Mammy, incredible Tesla BOD haven't booted him. Board of directors haven't booted him with only owning 13% of shares. The Tesla board is selling like crazy, though. The board members sold 100 million shares yesterday. They're getting out. They're like, oh, nothing to do with this. Get theirs while they still can. I bet they're wishing they had sold back in November for $400 a share and have twice as much as they do now. But, you know, take your losses, lick your wounds, move on to the next grift. But yeah, Elon needs to get booted. If I were a Tesla shareholder, problem is that if you're a Tesla shareholder at this point, you think Elon's God and he can do no wrong. So you aren't listening. You're like a Nebraska farmer or some guy in Texas married to a Mexican lady. Like, you don't understand that you're the one being harmed, and that the guy you're praising and worshiping is the one hurting you. So, you know, if you aren't just like a retirement fund, a sovereign wealth fund, and some sort of bank institution, you're like, oh, Elon is a god. He's a genius. He would never harm me. And so the company is owned by people who worship him. So that's why they're not going to get rid of him. They will ride that thing down to the depths of the sea and join that submarine. Nathan Scott, been gone for a few months and I'm happy back. I see you're still twiddling your thumbs. One day the twiddling will be done. So much. Boris Raspy H. When Moas. When the bottom falls out of everything, probably. Yeah. Captain Rhino, nothing to say, just happy to be here in a space where facts matter and logic prevails. Welcome. Aaron Salentine, Tesla is a short's dream come true. Mm-hmm. Rich, sounds like a t-shirt, just don't be a Nazi. Yeah, it's not hard. I'm like, why the hate me so much? You're Nazi. So, like, don't do Nazi stuff. It's not that difficult. I don't understand too, like, there's an article that came out this summer by a woman who was embedded with some of the white supremacists. She's a journalist. She called some white supremacists that did the Charlottesville crap. And she's like, hey, do you mind if I hang out with you and write about, you know, this experience? I'm like, sure, fine. And she goes to this like vacation rental where a whole bunch of white supremacists had rented out Charlottesville. And she's talking with all of them, and she was noticing, like, this guy is autistic, this guy's autistic, this guy's autistic. And, like, the entire house was full of these, like, weird autistic nerds. And she thought that was really, really strange. And that they would have, like, their autistic fascination. Like, one dude had been really into, airplanes, and then somehow ended up on a white supremacist board, became obsessed with like 1930s Germany. And then when she interviewed them, years later, because this article came out this summer, she discovered that half of them weren't into Nazism anymore. They're like, oh no, that was just a phase. I'm into this thing now. I'm really into like vintage video games or whatever. And it's like, I wonder if they got to the point where they got to like Mengele and Asperger, and they're like, oh, the Nazis actually hate me, right? Like Elon claims he's Asperger. Do you know what Asperger's is? Well, Asperger was a Nazi scientist who studied, mental conditions, and he determined that if you were autistic, but not that autistic, you're good enough for slave labor, and that means you're an Asperger. That's Elon. Elon, by the 1930s, early 40s standards of Nazi medicine, will be determined to be mentally deficient, too deficient to be in society, but deficient, but not so deficient that they can't use him as slave labor. That was the determination, which is why people don't like the term Asperger's being used to describe the people on the spectrum. They want other things, high functioning, etc., to be used instead. But Elon is a full-blown Nazi. This is just like a Nebraska farmer whose entire labor force is undocumented immigrants voting for the guy who's getting rid of their entire labor force. Is there some disconnect? There's something not happening in schools in the 1970s where folks never learned about the consequences of their actions. They never did a project like, hey, if I do this, this will happen to me. Like, there was a commercial that would play all the time during Saturday morning cartoons back in the 80s. If you're old enough, you might remember this commercial. And to me, it never made any sense. Like, what was this kid is in a parking garage, and he is committing vandalism. He breaks the antenna off of a car. He's like, yeah. And then he and his dad get into their car, which I think might have been the same car the kid broke the antenna off of, and they turn on the radio and it's just the kid's like, oh. I wonder if I can find that commercial, because as a kid I was like, this is the stupidest fucking commercial, but it was all about consequences of your actions, right? It was all about if you break the antenna off the car, you can't use the radio anymore. 1980s public service commercial. It would play a lot of times with I learned it by watching you. That commercial. Monkey, you're tooting again. Don't do that, please. Got enough pollen in the air without your butt also. Antenna break. Is this it? This might be it. One sec. I gotta go here. I gotta turn off the Google Earth. I gotta turn on the sound. This might be it here.
Watch this. Was it that great?
That's not great. That's terrible. I mean, what are you gonna do with a radio antenna? Nothing. That's what. So I fail to see what's being accomplished here. When you destroy someone's property, it's just not.
This isn't quite the full commercial.
How would you feel if someone trashed all your stuff like that? Listen, there are a lot of ways to have a good time, but destroying someone else's property just isn't one of them.
Hey, Dad, can you listen to the game on the radio?
Oh, sure. Why not? Oh, no. Somebody's busted my antenna.
That's one to grow on.
Yeah, that was it. That was, so fucking stupid. But, did Elon, oops, don't be doing that. I don't care about 4cam, blah, 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 blah. All right. That PSA was as dumb as I remember. But I don't remember the dudes being like, don't break antennas. I remember just being like, the kid like, check this out. He breaks the antenna. And then the next scene is he gets in the car with his dad. So just these dudes are like blowing off their dicks and then complaining about not having like, it was the woke mob blow off my dick. No, dude, you did it yourself, you moron. Well, it is what it is, I guess. Andrew Stewart, Houston, I have a gallon Ziploc full of RAM and CPUs, 80s to aughts. How much gold do you think I have? If it's 80 CPUs, quite a bit. You can probably do like a 486 chip and a 386 chip have about like a quarter of a gram per chip in gold. The RAM, the fingers on the board, the gold little fingers on the board, those things you can take off with a soldering iron pretty easily. Just kind of scrape them off, and they're pretty high content. Then you pop the chips out, and you can grind those suckers up, and there'll be lots of gold and silver inside of in the wiring inside of the chip. Pretty good amounts. Like how big's your bag? How big? A gallon Ziploc? I bet you have several grams of gold in that. Because you get four 486 chips, you're at a full gram, which is like $60 in gold. No, it's more than that now. It's like $70 or $80 in gold. So if you have a CPU bag full of them, you might have like 40 or 50 chips. You got 40 chips, you have almost a full ounce, more than a full ounce of gold. So a lot. You have several $1,000s in gold in the end with that much. So yeah, good. Hazel A. The astronauts have returned back to Earth. They're back, baby. Boris Raspy. If there is no MOAS, how long and how high will the peak be? And do you think DFV will meme about when to sell so retail won't backhold? I honestly don't know. He will probably give us YOLO updates for what he has. But I don't know about further on the future if he will show us if he is sold. I think his whole thing is buy and hold forever because he believes in the company. I think they're probably going to transfer from being a game retail company into a holdings company that may eventually change its name, maybe keep GameStop as, you know, like Berkshire Hathaway kept their name and they no longer make socks. So I think that's probably what the future is going for. Big Zerp, Houston. What are your thoughts on this notion Trump is crashing the market to lower bond rates so he can refinance $7 trillion in debt? I mean, you can refinance that debt, I guess, if you want. Has a lot of debt. He doesn't like paying high interest rates because he's got terrible credit. That's why he wanted the Fed to make negative interest rates so he could get paid on his debt rather than pay it himself. Monkey butt. So, bonds are fairly dynamic. Like treasury bonds are fairly dynamic. So a lot of them are tied to rates as they move. So if you've got bonds at 2% in 2008, they jumped to 5% today, and they're jumping down to 4% now. So I don't know. He may want to refinance stuff. He probably wants to refinance his own stuff, but we wouldn't be able to like refinance the whole of the federal government. You just offer new bonds and pay off the old ones, and that's all you do. Citizen 54, Tesla service center in Las Vegas was set on fire. Eventually, people will go after SpaceX too. They won't stop. They want his melon on a spike. Keep it up. Enough is enough. Yeah. Hansel Vendelay. Whoops. Hansel Vendelay just vanished here. Where'd you go? Hansel Vanderlei. MMTLP stock crimes led to stock market crash. Criminals. I mean, it could play a role in it, but I think the stock market crash in general is the result of too much bad debt, destroying markets, and vaporizing spending of Americans. Cook your body, oh my god, and let us return to this waking nightmare. It's a Stephanie L's question. Aaron Salton, we could short Tesla and become rich off Elon. Thank you for being an idiot. Not to Elon. Let's eat the rich. Yes. Just Mammy, Elon would be in prison. Probably. If well, it's a good chance he would be at least stripped of his security clearances, that's for sure. He did say that Trump had to be in office to avoid prison, which is telling everybody like, hey, I committed a bunch of crimes. I need this criminal to let me off. So yeah, that's very, very Chancellor. Peachy Sunday, Mark Rober murdered Tesla. Mark Rober. Do I know Mark Rober? Mark Rober. Mark Rober. Oh, he's the one that drove the Tesla through the Wile E. Coyote thing. Do you guys see this? So he set up a Wile E. Coyote wall, and the Tesla autopilot just drove right through it. Why? Because Tesla doesn't have radar or LiDAR. It relies entirely on visualization. And the old Teslas, the original Teslas, autopilots, they had radar and LiDAR, which made the autopilot much safer because you can actually map the environment and things other than visible wavelengths. And you can actually locate their physical positions by bouncing signals off of them. Cruise and what's the other one? Monkey, Cruise, and the other one in San Francisco, the one that got the guy trapped in the parking lot of the airport. Waymo. Those use radar and LiDAR, and they got goofy shit all over them, but they don't look cool. You can't have goofy shit all over your car, so you have to make it streamlined, just like you can't have yellow in your factory and so on. But yeah. Alexander Flanner, do you know the location of any billionaire bunkers we can smoke out after the apocalypse? Not specifically. I wonder if there's a billionaire bunker list. Locations of billionaire bunkers. Billionaire bunkers often referred to as doomsday bunkers or safe houses typically located in remote or fortified areas. Examples, the Czech Republic's Opidum, a former missile silo in Kansas transferred to luxury condo, Confirm locations of billionaire bunkers. There you go. Reddit. Leave it to Reddit. So I just think underground mansions are cool. I wish I was a billionaire so I could afford one. Oh wait. Don't know what you're planning, but more power to you, comrade. Okay, this doesn't actually maybe have some lists here. You think a nice big list would be great? They could find somewhere very specifically. 11 billion bunkers. That'd be a good website. Someone should put together billionaire bunker location website and docs every billionaire bunker there is. That would be I'm going to give that homework assignment to one of you. Alexander Flanner, you're now in charge of making the billionaire bunker website where you're going to dox all the billionaire bunkers. So get on it. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, HW. Canada's inflation blows past expectations of 2.2% to 2.6%. Yeah, things are going to get more expensive for you because you now have to do retaliatory tariffs, and you're not going to have the competition of U.S. products coming in, lowering prices of Canadian products. Yeah, it's just tariff wars are so stupid. But you have to do it because if you didn't, you'd be suffering the consequences anyway. Steel Peach and Tozer. Have you ever thrown a 9 darter I know you are a very good thrower. I always enjoyed throwing baseballs. It's very rewarding to throw well. 9-darter is a different type of reward. No, I've never had an immaculate inning. I have had a 3-pitch inning, but I did that. How old was I when I did 3-pitch inning? 38. It was a 4th of July game. I was throwing meatballs because I was not in shape, and just right down the pipe. And first pitch was a double off the wall in center field. I was like, fuck. Dude, stand at second base. Second pitch was a fly ball to the exact same spot, but it got caught, and then the dude got doubled off second, 2 outs. Third pitch, another deep drive to center field, right to the center fielder. And then I was done with the inning. I have 3-pitch inning. That's probably one of the coolest pitching things I ever did. And then when I was a 15-year-old in All-Stars, I was playing third base. We were getting our asses kicked by South Kitsap, which South Kitsap is just, they just send people to the major leagues and the NFL constantly. They were destroying us. We were down like 10-0. Bases were loaded. I was playing third, so I'm playing pretty close to third in case, the pitcher wants to pick off the dude on third. And pitcher throws something slow and inside. The guy ropes it down the line. I catch it, step on third, and I went to go throw to second, and the dude who had been on second ran into me, and I got an unassisted triple play. And that ended up, we had this little local news channel called Northland Cable News, which just did Bainbridge Island. And I didn't have cable, but apparently my highlight played like 10 times a day all summer long. There was some dude filming, and he like sent it in of my unassisted triple play. And so when I got to school, that was in my sophomore year of high school, I got to school and people were like, dude, I saw you on TV like every day. So yeah, that's probably my two coolest things I've done. I never threw a no-hitter. Even like in elementary school or anything like that, I never threw a hitter. I did have a 15 strikeout game, which was a lot for a knuckleballer when I was in high school. I did have a lot of 3-pitch strikeouts, but it never had 3 in a row. Mostly, if I didn't strike a guy out with a knuckleball, they would like top it and just do like a dribbler to if they're a right-handed hitter, a dribbler to third or short, or a dribbler to first base if they were left-handed. Because they would get out ahead of it, and the balls just, and they'd top it, and it would just go at 10 miles an hour to the third baseman. And then if the knuckleball wasn't moving, then it was just like, oh, well, I have a good time around the bases. So, yeah. Aaron Saltine. Elon won't be a billionaire in 6 months. Tesla going to be a $1 stock, then 0. I don't know how fast it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be below 150 probably by May, if not sooner. It's got a long ways to go. I would love to see Tesla at some point start to do reverse splits, going from like billions of shares to hundreds of millions to millions to. I'd love to see that graph. Samuel, Trump could be in prison too. Yeah. Danny Moots. How far should Carvana go down? Carvana is really weird because it is controlled by just a couple of people. Like 90% of the stock is controlled by one family. Didn't that family have like mafia ties or something? Am I reading something about that? I might be totally wrong and opening myself the lawsuits here. Carvana, small public float. Public float, 121 million. 94% held by institutions. Insiders hold 1.46, but it must be the institutions that owns most of it. Yeah, 94.19% institution held, which makes them, just despite any problems with selling cars and stuff, makes them very squeezable, which is probably why the stock price has gone up so much in the last 2 years. So here, let me, family who controls Carvana. Garcia 2. No, that's only more recent. Carvana father-son duo lose hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. Carvana father-son duo lose hundreds of millions of dollars in net worth after short seller report. So this is January of this year. Two seller wealth dip, roughly 288 million on the new year so far. Prominent short seller accused used car retailer Carvana of lax underwriting, accounting manipulation, undisclosed transactions worth hundreds of millions of dollars with a related party. The company called the short report intentionally misleading and inaccurate. Still, the stock dropped in the aftermath. It's still really high though. Still billionaire worth $6 billion. His father still worth $15 billion. Number 377 on the Fortune 500. So his father-son duo about $11 billion their combined wealth since 2022. It was a Hindenburg report, so you know the Anson Funds is probably behind that. Yeah. Huh. Well. Yeah, I think the high institutional ownership makes it really hard to do damage to them unless all of a sudden the people in institutions are like, I'm done. But 94% institutional ownership is huge. That's a big deal. Danny Motes also says happy birthday. Jealous Money 9501 went to Vegas to watch my Penrith Panthers play. I love experiencing your country. I got a photo at a GameStop. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. I don't know what a Penrith Panther is. Penrith Panther. It is... Oh, it's a rugby team. Ah, what are they playing in Vegas for? Who are they playing in Vegas? Penrith Panthers. March 14th, played the Roosters. Who are the Roosters? Penrith Panthers. Combank Stadium? Nope, that's in New South Wales. That's not that one. Where'd they play? Penrith Panthers, Las Vegas. Panthers headline Vegas Festival. Nope. Panthers vs. Sharks. Nope. That's hockey. Panthers kicked off style. Cronulla Sharks. Oh, they played the Cronulla Sharks. Oh, it was okay. It was Panthers playing the Cronulla Sharks in Vegas. Ah. My little sister lived in Cronulla. That's all I know. And rugby players were constantly asking her out. she missed the boat on that one. She had like professional cricket players, professional rugby players, professional soccer players, all just lusting after her when she was working this like chicken shop in Cronulla, and some tech billionaire was like, "Marry me," and she's like, "Ew, I don't want no," and then never got to marry a billionaire or a multi-millionaire professional athlete, and came back home to Seattle and nothing to show for it. Oh well. System 54, Starlink installed in the White House. Quicker way to sell national secrets. Elmo needs to be eradicated or else it won't stop. Yep. Yeah. So we're just, beaming all of our secrets around everywhere. It's over, guys. Louis throwing some stickers out there. Just Mammy. New SEC chair Paul Atkins goes in front of Senate committee on March 27th. Noted. Justified farting. Whatever you've been doing is not justified. When you said Seattle will have the best pitching staff, what metric are you using? Total ERA? Whip, strikeouts per inning, ERA. The team ERA, I think, was the difference between their team ERA and the second place team ERA last season is as large a difference between the second place team ERA and like the 10th place team ERA, something like that. Team pitching stats 2024. Okay. Don't give me... Why are you so dark? Oh, let's click that. Oh, I gotta get lighter. Okay. So let's do ERA. So New York Mets, we're at 337. Oh, sorry. I want whip. Whip is probably the best one. Whip. Team whip. Oh, it's 2025. No, I want 2024, dude. You're giving me spring training numbers. Don't give me that crap. Seattle Mariners. Here we go. Seattle Mariners, whip 1.08, which is, like, as a team, that is ridiculous because there are years when that's a good enough whip to get the Cy Young Award alone, right? ERA. The Braves had the same ERA as the Mariners. There's a 20-point difference almost between the Cleveland Guardians, which are second place. Strikeouts. Are we on strikeouts? Not too great on strikeouts. Did all right there. But the whip is the big one. This is the walks, hits per inning, which basically means people just can't get on base. But the Mariners, they lost a lot of games, like 2-1, 1-0, because they had no offense. So these pitchers go out there, give the game of their lives, and the Mariners couldn't hit anything to get anybody in, and that would be about it. 15 shutouts, not too bad. Yeah, but the whip is the big one. And team batting average against 220. That is incredible. That is, I mean, for especially like at a time when everyone in the league can't hit to save their lives because they're all about launch angles and crap like that. But the pitchers are throwing 100 miles an hour constantly. But yeah, the best pitching in the league just based on whip alone, which is probably the best metric to measure a pitching staff by. That's it. Though George Kirby is injured at the moment, we'll see who steps up to take a spot at the beginning of the season. Because the same thing happened to Brandon Wu. Brandon Wu was injured at the beginning of the season. What's that kid's name? Came AAA. He did okay, and then Wu came back and put up Cy Young numbers, but didn't have enough starts in the season to get nominated for it. Like we can see, Brandon Wu. Not Woodruff. No. Wu. Not Brandon Wu? Dang it. Why are you... Ah, gosh, dang it. Teams. Just give me the stupid... Give me that. Give me that. Go to... Nope, don't. Just give me stupid gambling shit. I don't care. Brian Wu. Dang it. Why can't I... Not Brandon. Brian Wu. So, oh, here we go. His numbers last year were incredible for only pitching half a season. So his whip, 0.98. That is basically world class right there. He went 9-3. His ERA, where's the ERA here? 2.89, very good. He was essentially, you just couldn't score a run off of him. You couldn't get on base, couldn't score a run off of him. You couldn't get hits off of him. He came back from his injury just an absolute manimal, but he didn't have enough starts to qualify for Cy Young. But the rest of his numbers were Cy Young worthy, 100%. His numbers are better than the winner of the Cy Young. Was it Garrett Cole won the Cy Young last year? His numbers were better, just a shorter season because of his injury. So it was only his second season ever. Yeah, he's going to be a manimal as well. Anyway, I lost your spot. Right, that was Starlink thing. That was SEC chair thing. That was Seattle metric. Tesla earnings date, April. TSLA earnings date. Yeah, April 22nd is estimated earnings date. They haven't announced yet. That'll be for quarter one, and quarter one will be bad. Quarter two will be abysmal. So have to look for that one, which will probably be July. somewhere in there. Millie McWoolhead. I'm going to become a Canadian when I travel. Yeah, you kind of have to. Fred Jones. As I travel, I'll magically become Canadian as well. I was going to K like the Nuggy time. Turkish. Where's the money? Hustowski. It's there. You just got to short it out of the market. Emo goes fishing. Sorry, avocados first. Hey nerds, shawarma chicken and tabbouleh for dinner. I make tabbouleh every time I mow that lawn out there. It's like 50% parsley. It smells just like it. Emo goes fishing. As much as I am a Kentucky fan, I hate to admit, but Florida will win the Final Four. I put Florida in the Final Four. I just didn't have them winning at all. I'll probably be wrong. Joe's probably right. Just says I'm a waiver. Avocados, how long before we can get Tesla to zero? I remember cash for clunkers. That was called cash for clunkers. I would guess after quarter two reporting, which is July-ish, it definitely goes below 100. And if it goes below 100, it's pretty much unrecoverable at that point. They're going to have to fire Elon. They'll have no choice. That he would poison the brand so much. They may have to even do a name change or something and not call it Tesla anymore, which is a bummer because Nikola Tesla was a rad guy, but now it's toxic. Nazis ruin things. Nazis ruined the swastika, which was an ancient symbol for many cultures around the world. They ruined the Charlie Chaplin mustache. They ruined the OK hand signal, right? And they're ruining Tesla. The name Tesla. Nazis just ruin shit. Everything they touch turns to garbage, and they're like King Midas in reverse. Nathan Scott, how did Monkey Butt lose a leg? 7-ish weeks ago. I let her out to go whiz, and she ran out in the yard, and it just broke. And then we discovered through imaging that it was a bone cancer tumor that did it. So we had to remove the leg. She's going through chemo, and she's got her next chemo appointment tomorrow. I have to drive to Olympia. So it might not be a show tomorrow, FYI, because I got to drive down to Olympia and do the thing and drive back, and that's like 4+ hours of my day. So she lost her right rear leg. She's doing okay. Better now that I got little throw rugs to throw all over the pergo floors because she was just slipping and eating shit down there, and I felt so bad. So now she's got little paths she can walk, and I think she may have pulled her groin on some of those slips because it goes out from under you and you panic, and yeah, she was very scared of those floors. So we got the carpets in there, right? You got the carpets in there, yeah. We're just slippery little leg. But yeah, so she's got cancer treatment. She's been going through that for the next 6 months to a year. I raised a boatload of money from GoFundMe. Thank you all, and we can now cover it. So we don't have to worry about anything. So Monkey is covered. She is loved by the internet, and she's good to go. Avocados. Oh, I did that one. Hazel, hey. Hazel's giving the lowdown of how it broke the leg. Just Mammy, JFK files just released. Didn't a judge say he's going to postpone that? But JFK files released 10 hours ago. Last classified JFK fascination files will be released on Tuesday. JFK files on Tuesday. Here's what they say. Okay, it's from USA Today. The contents documents and whether any previously unreleased information is in them wasn't immediately clear. US Today will continue reviewing files and updating the story. It's kind of a joke. This could be a joke of a release, or it could be a breakthrough. We just won't know until we have time to process them all. Author of JFK Facts newsletter. Not all documents were posted online Tuesday night. National Archives had partnered with agencies across federal government to do it. Blah, blah, blah. People have been waiting for this for a long time. Matt Justin. No updates as to what's in it yet. Just got released 20 minutes ago. Okay, so I'm sure people will comb through that stuff and they'll be like, we don't know anything. How is Monkey Butt? Monkey Butt's doing all right. You're doing all right, right? You're fine.
You're okay. You're as good as you can be for being a three-legged little hop along. Right? Right, buddy?
Yeah, she's gonna go right back up. All she cares about is treats anyway. Wheat Wild, hey bud, let's fly. Oh, got our coordinates here. Where are we going here, Wheat Wild? Because you normally give me coordinates like this, ends up being the freaking. Oops. Gotta get rid of. Where'd Chrome go? There's Chrome. Go away. Give me Google Earth. Bam. All right. Better not be stupid. Eye of Africa. God damn it, you son of a bitch. I knew it was going to be that. I should recognize that. That number, the 7CH, I should recognize that as Eye of Africa. Just like the 11 degrees, I should recognize that. That's 1121, right? 11, yeah, 2111. That's, when I see those, I should know better. All right. And 9, I think all this Tesla shit would have happened months ago if Trump didn't win. If Tesla goes down, what happens to all the existing charger systems? I'm sure they get bought up by some private equity fund that will figure out a way to ruin them all. Do you see BYD released their solid-state batteries today that can charge a car in 5 minutes? Yeah, so that's coming. Even though BYDs have like no structural integrity whatsoever, so if you get a car accident with them, and they love spontaneous combustion, but that's with the lithium batteries. You won't have that problem with solid state. So, Aaron Salentine, I see Elon bought a new submarine. It cost him everything. All right.
Monkey Butt, we gotta go. Or I gotta go. You stay here, because that's your job.
Anyway, I'll see you guys probably Thursday. If I don't do a late night show tomorrow, we'll see how much energy I have after driving 4 hours to get her chemo appointment. So if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you Thursday. So maybe I'll do a GeoGuessr or something tomorrow night. We'll see. All right, everybody. Click on my things again. Click on that thing.